Hi everyone. My name is Vera. I'm from Australia and I wanted to do a small little review about my experience with Baselang so far. So, my experience with Spanish has mainly been in Guatemala, where I was doing a 6 week intensive course, which brought me up to an intermediate level. And at this point, I wanted to ensure that I could keep practicing Spanish and make sure that I was practicing on a daily level. So, for that reason, Baselang really spoke out to me in terms of being a consistent program that I could do once an hour, half an hour here or there because of the flexibility. So when I returned back to the Netherlands, this has been absolutely fantastic with keeping up with what I've learnt already in Guatemala, but also continuing on with the courses that they have for the level that was designated for me. So when I joined, they put me into level 5, which is basically beginner intermediate, and I thought that was appropriate as well. And you complete electives as well as different grammar courses in order to go up to the next level. And in order to do that, you need to do a test to pass. I know many people like to have a rotation of 3 teachers, but after trial and error with a few teachers, I finally found one that was closer to my age, someone who I was comfortable speaking Spanish with and making mistakes with, in order to be comfortable doing classes 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, whatever it may be. In order to keep practicing my Spanish. I find that if I wasn't comfortable with my teacher, I would be less motivated to log on or even schedule classes in the first place. So it's been so helpful for me to have a teacher that I can trust and I can depend on and I can feel comfortable with. I love the fact that you can study as much as you want. If you've got the time, you can do 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day. You can do it as intensely or as minimally as you require. And the times that I find that I take a day or two off, my Spanish does slip, and it's because I'm not practicing or using it on a daily basis. So Baselang's fantastic for that. I don't have to think about the cost. It's a once a month payment that I can take advantage of, and the fact that if you have a favorite teacher, you can schedule into their diaries 2 days ahead of any other student. So I find myself consistently booking classes once a day in the morning for 5 days in advance, and this way it keeps me consistent and on track with my Spanish. My recommendation for Baselang though is that sometimes their course material can be lacking in substance, and I've had to rely on my teacher to find extra materials to supplement that learning because it hasn't been as in-depth or profound as it needed to be. And sometimes the exercises haven't been as thought out or made as much sense as they believe they think it should. They could also, another thing is make the lesson plans visually look better rather than as though it's just coming out of a PowerPoint that someone's quickly whipped up. But other than that, couldn't recommend Baselang enough. And they do have fantastic trial options, so you can see if it works for you as well. That's it. Thanks for listening.